Anyway, before we get started, I just want to make a shout out to both you and Justin. While I was dying this week, literally, like I didn't even realize that I was like damn near blistered sunburn from Sunday until like Tuesday when I like suddenly my whole body lit on fire when the fever kicked in. Like when you don't feel that kind of sunburn for like you're just sitting there going, like can't my eyeballs still hurt? Can't move them, which is why I'm moving my head so much. And Hanny's even laughing at me, going, "What? Look at the head movement." Like I'm not moving my eyes anymore. What makes me want to vomit? But between all of that, somehow the shows that had to get pushed back were ones that I did with you guys because you guys had reasons snuck us. So pat myself on the back for that, and really shout out to you that really picking on Justin because in case anyone missed it last week or earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday, whatever the fuck it was, I don't know. Walter had a baby girl, so he's kind of had baby appointments right after they're born. They check all kinds of levels after you take them home and stuff. So
Yeah,
he actually has real excuses and reasons to not be here. Unlike Justin, who like, well, I couldn't go to the gym during lunch, so I'm like, dude, I can't open my eyes right now. And you're coming at me. We have to hold this
of course, that
off.
was one of our complaints.
I'm sitting here like vomiting every time. What did you do? I moved my eye to the left to look at something, and you're telling me you have to complaining that you didn't get to go to the gym during lunch. Like I'm sorry for you. Like that's terrible for you. But all that aside, this is going to be I think. See, there's the mistake. Moved my eyes. Do this one a bit different because there's a lot of racing, but there's a lot of stuff we can get through fast. And really, I've just seen more news coming out than there is stuff to talk about. At least
Oh
I
yeah,
have, if you haven't seen anything. And another shout out to as well to Kyle Larson for being a baby back bitch. I'm sorry, you guys complaining about not having a big enough purse for the Chili Bowl. The British Touring Car Championship Series. You know what they get for winning? Nothing. Zilch. Nada. There is no purse. They're not getting nothing for their cars getting destroyed. So how about you take your couple million you're making from Rick every year and shove it up your asshole, you entitled, spoiled, rotten piece of shit. You don't need
yeah, it's
another
funny.
you don't need another dollar the rest of your goddamn life just off the dirt racing money you made in 2020 after your life fell apart. I'm not going to race in that because they're not paying me enough. Suck a dick. I know you guys
Yeah,
put
but he
money
didn't
into it.
hesitate to be. He didn't hesitate to be there for the BC 39, though, did he?
There's racing series out there that are putting up all the money and all this stuff,
people,
and they win. They don't even get a check for winning. So,
yeah.
And guess what? He's still, he's making good money off of those sponsors.
And I love Kyle Larson, but I have to agree with you on that because when he went through all that and then Rick Hendrick signed him, this is where I did lose some respect for him. Congrats for getting a ride back in NASCAR. Cool. Rick Hendrick signed you, cool. And I'm kind of confused on what Chevy offered you to get you to come back to them. I think it was stupid, just my personal beliefs. But with that being set aside, when you got signed by Rick Hendrick, you quit on your driver, not just yourself. Your driver, all the people that worked for you, you quit on everyone. Just quit racing. Done. Boom. We're done. Shut everything down. We're done. No, you should have kept that going because those guys kept you afloat.
Yeah, one for those guys.
I'm just throwing that out
2020 would have been the end of everything for Kyle Larson.
In defense of those guys that kept him afloat and driving,
I
feel
them.
like, yeah.
For them, but I just wanted to share that out just because I was watching some BTCC races yesterday from Croft.
And you're right, they don't get purses either like that.
Craft. I don't remember. I couldn't read it. I can't see straight. Like even with my glasses, my vision's right now. So I was going, like literally walking up because I was walking around squinting all day anyway because I just don't want to open them. Going right up on the 55 inches with the glasses going. Still can't tell if that's an O or an A, which is very reassuring. But good racing anyway. Lots of stuff from last weekend. I don't know if you actually got to watch anything, which I'm trying not to make you go over too much because you're only in the hospital literally the whole time, and then 2 more days this week with appointments and all that jazz.
I feel like I've lost 5 hours every morning.
But Jeremy's getting into the wall. Weird. Yeah, don't see that very often. I did like them airing the World of Outlaws late models at I-55 and the sprint cars at Wilmot. Thought the sprint car race had more action, I would say, even though there's caution right at the start. There's a red flag the next time. I mean, there were cars just barrel rolling everywhere, but those little guys were getting it. That was pretty, nice to see. I don't know if you actually saw that. I'm sure that was really, really old. I really didn't want to look to see.
Shout out to our buddies digging the pineapple.
Yeah. I'm just happy that fluids are, not trying to. I haven't thrown up. Doesn't mean they haven't tried to come up. I didn't even know eye pain was like a thing for COVID.
I just want to point out for Kevin's sake, while I'm thinking of this, good job. You and Bella pulled it off. Not quite sure who linked that one together in heaven, but thanks.
But yeah, that was good racing. Indy Nashville, a lot of weird stuff. Jimmy sucked again, another hard hit. I just see you later, Jimmy. I mean, that's really sadly my theory on it. Just go away. Like one more year.
Well, now hold on. I didn't get to watch all that race because obviously I was in the hospital with stuff. But
don't worry, they
did
everything up.
I watched the beginning, but something must have happened after I stopped watching it and everything else came up because there's a bunch of stink on one of the racing forums I follow.
Well,
I didn't get time to read it.
That's because they, I believe memory serves me right. They had to stop it right, like at a certain point, and just switched it over to Peacock. Like, see you later, bye.
That's what it was.
Finish it over
it
here.
Had something to do with networks.
Yeah, because I was sitting there because I was watching it. I'm like, hey, well, finishing on Peacock, done. I was like lap 25. I'm like,
okay.
No, you guys should probably figure out a way to, like that would piss me off if you're home. Like if you don't have Peacock, you're fucked right out the gate. Like here's a good one. When you guys see the weather coming for the 6 millionth time, if you see weather like is in the area, do something so you get the race.
Now I can't even yell at Fox as much as we used to anymore.
Oh, that's just because they're only covering the truck races. And ARCA, don't worry. There'll be another ARCA race that they'll start at like 7:30 p.m. at Pocono, and they'll go, I don't know why we couldn't finish it in an hour. Like, because you're stupid.
Oh, I wonder. I wonder.
They'll do it again, but
it only takes 3 minutes under a caution flag to get around that damn thing. But hey.
But yeah, that's how that all went down. I was just, so that switched over. Good race. I mean, Colton got back up to fifth. There was just a lot of just weird shit that happened the whole entire race. I liked it. It was just weird. Maybe I was just pissed off because I was sick, dying, and they switched over to Peacock. So I sat there and watched the whole thing going, well, this doesn't seem right. And then I had to go on Peacock. And anyone that's ever been on Peacock knows how much fun it is to try to fast forward. You hit pause, you hit play, and then it just sits there and does the weird thing. And then you have to back out. So maybe I was a little less than enthused when I finally got back to lap 25 or 26, but weird race. And then Michigan was Michigan. I mean, Junior Motorsports dominated. Gibbs stole the win. If I was Justin Allgaier, I would have punched Myatt Snyder in the face. I don't know if you got to see that race, but
not all of it. But it sounds like what I missed was pretty good.
Oh no, it's just like 7-8 to go. Justin was making a run on Ty Gibbs after he lapped Myatt Snyder.
Mayer pulled out.
No, Myatt Snyder, Justin Allgaier. Where the hell's this Sam Mayer thing?
Oh, sorry.
Ty Gibbs was leading. Allgaier was coming. He lapped Myatt. Fucking Myatt. And then when Allgaier tried to get by him, Myatt, no shit, cut right in front of him in his line, even though he was a lap down. Oh, I would have punted his ass.
Yeah. There'd have been a wall on his future.
Like, sorry, bro. And I'm sailing. Crunch. Like, he deserved that one. But again, Ty's not been driving like as big of a dick lately, so I will give him that credit. He might have stole it.
I think it's because he's raced a couple weeks in the Cup Series, and it's kind of
it was even before that. It was after how well we all reacted to him punching someone in the face while wearing a helmet. Suddenly, after that, he's racing. He's racing Kyle clean and beating him at Road America. I mean, he's been doing a lot better since we were like, what? Now someone's going to take your since John Hunter, pretty much what? We don't, drivers don't forget. Like, I should probably stop being a dick. And there's his granddad going, what? Should probably stop being a dick.
That's probably what his grandfather was saying. That's going to come back to haunt you later this year.
It's like I know Coy's name is on the car, but can you please not wreck my equipment? Can you stop pissing people off before we get to Phoenix?
Right. Speaking of Gibbs, what do you think about that article I told you about from Kevin?
We'll get to that later. That's on my
okay.
Later
you got
things.
that on there. Yep.
I think I did.
I see. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I
Carry
might
on.
have. I don't remember. I
Well,
just
no,
know.
but it falls under the other one.
Yeah.
I see what you wrote.
There's. See, I even give them notes. You still can't keep track.
I misread that. That's my fault.
White
That's
people,
all
but
my fault.
yeah, but and then Kevin finally won. Yeah, hey, that's all it took. You should have had your kids sooner.
Yep.
He would have stopped
Right.
bitching. You would have stopped bitching. Everyone would have stopped bitching.
Well, even so, I blame Dale Earnhardt Sr. because I wanted her born on 8/3. We were shooting for last week. And then things didn't work out. People decided to be stupid in my life. Stress happened. Shit got pushed off because of the stress. No thanks to some assholes we know. That's the nicest way I can say that. Anywho, it didn't happen on the third. I told Taylor, I was like, well, so much for having a Dale Earnhardt baby. The next thing I know, Sunday comes around. I can't watch the race. I'm missing the whole race, this, that, and everything else. Taylor's in labor. Turn it all
I
off.
ruined it and told you.
I
At
sent
least
you
I
the
told
picture,
you.
and you had to go. Couldn't have had the baby sooner.
Hey,
that was Dale Senior going.
no
There
one
you go.
will
Merry
ever.
Christmas
No
and
one
happy
will
birthday.
ever judge me for my. People say you're lying. No, well, one thing I've ever been told is stop.
Nope.
What? What? Can you be a little less of a dick? But I'm an honest dick. That's the problem. Yes, it is. I'm honest to a
But
fault.
on a side note, moving on from that shenanigans, it was nice to see Kevin win. And even though you spilled it for me and killed it, but I still watched it. And, you know, at the end of it, there's Kevin doing his really slow roll turnaround and just putting in there. There's Bella on my lap, and I'm going. And there's a small tear just going.
Hey, well, I don't do that. I'm not a pussy, but I also didn't have a newborn baby in my lap. So, you know, I just didn't want you to like look up at the TV holding the baby and, you know, suddenly look up and not know what happened. Just the time I do that, something comes flying out of me. And Bubba, you know, shout out, made a good run for Bubba, got his fourth straight top 10, first time of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and look at all the different tracks they ran on. So, I mean, good for him. That's a hell of a run.
Definitely.
But did you see anything else that we didn't get to because of all the stuff? Or are we moving straight on to anything?
You watched the AMSOIL already? Got that on there?
Yeah, for this weekend, that's all this weekend. If you got anything from last weekend or through the week that you need dirt vision and all that for.
No, you covered the ones I watched.
There we go. See, it makes it even easier. And again, there's a lot of racing this weekend, but there's a lot of stuff that I could just breeze through really quick for everybody. I don't know why that is suddenly. Maybe it's just my eyes that looks really bright behind me. But AMSOIL Championship off-road, 13th to the 14th, and here's another one of those why I love these guys so fucking much. The Island Resort and Casino Off-Road Rumble in the UP, presented by Race Driven KTM at Bark River International Raceway in Bark River, Michigan. God bless. I just sat there looking at it in the UP. I'm like how many people are going to be confused just by that? And why did they put uppercase in the? Why did they uppercase up? What the hell is up? Like they just confused half the people that see it because people are just If you don't know, well, if you're not in the know, it's not my damn fault. But that's right. Literally one of those. What the hell does that even mean? Motocross
actually it is a really nice outfit up there, though. If we're being openly
in the UP.
honest.
Well, it's in the UP. It's a different. It's a different world up there.
As the man once said, "Heaven's just north of the bridge."
Motocross, Unadilla MX in New Berlin, New York. It's on MAV TV or Flow Racing. Last year, the 450s where Ken Roczen was in first, Dylan Ferrandis was second, Marvin Musquin was third. No, and here comes the big shockers again. 250s, Chet Lawrence won. Didn't see that coming. Justin Cooper was second, Jeremy Martins was third. Again, MAV TV or Flow Racing, so I'm sure they'll actually show the replay on NBC at some point. NBC Sports somewhere around there. They always get it.
And if we're being honest,
I don't know why
from the 450 class, the Ken Roczen and Muskin, they're both.
Musquin. I just love his last name.
Both probably some of the, if not the best drivers, they're some of the absolute best drivers.
What's your last
They're
name?
not up there,
Bruce Ken.
but
It's your people right there.
I can tell you honestly though, Ken Roczen has been a powerhouse in that outfit for quite some time, and I'm not talking just a couple years. I'm talking well over a decade, if not close to two.
Now I want to see what Eli can do as he's not on the, just to see because he's had such a an unfathomably good year so far. I want to see how that works out, but I'm excited for it again though. Mav TV or Flow Racing. I mean, sooner or later.
Oh yeah.
Sooner or later, it pops up all the new. If I could, I don't know why they air the stuff from like Sweden and shit. No one cares, but
it reminds me.
This is how you remind me.
I can do it this way. Carry on.
American Flat Track. It's on Saturday at Castle Rock at Castle Rock Race Park in Castle Rock, Washington. Again, when it comes on, God knows it's normally they've been better at having it on the weekend. Maybe Saturday night. It just didn't say anything. So I'm just waiting until it comes up. That's straight from the website. Didn't say anything. So judge me all you want. It's not my fault that they suck. I didn't make them suck. British Touring Car Championship, 13th and 14th in Snetterton. Again, that'll probably show up next week. It always does. And who doesn't like the word Snetterton? Just puts a smile on my face. Maybe I'm stupid. NHRA, 13th and 14th for the Menards. NHRA Nationals presented by Pet Armor at Heartland Motorsports Park. Again, they already did I think it was qualifying was already on yesterday, hit the DVR, I believe, which is really weird for me to catch it that early. But again, it all depends on the schedule at the track and where they are. So it doesn't matter if I think it's weird. They don't give a goddamn they don't give a what any of us think. Well, actually, the NHRA might actually care about their fans and people. They might actually care. Let me take that back. The NHRA.
I think that's location dependent too, though.
Oh yeah.
In that series, unlike NASCAR, where there's a lot of times it's like we don't care about the scheduling stuff. Who cares if we screw people out of seeing something?
Yep. And then,
anyways,
see, now we're on to the big stuff. Maybe we only got 2 left before we get into all the other stuff. Truck Series running tomorrow night, 8 p.m. FS1 at Richmond for the Worldwide Express 250 for carrier appreciation. It's a lot of words. Dear God, so many words. Why can't we just be like the Cup Series? 4 words and we're done. If that. Half the time it's just 1 word and a number and we're done. These guys in their paragraphs. But top 10 last year, John Hunter Nemechek was first. Shocker. I don't think he's going to win this year. Sorry, he just hasn't shown that he can actually win this year. I don't know what happened, but no better time to figure it out.
It would be nice.
It would be a great change of pace.
Kevin won this last weekend. John Hunter could win this weekend. I don't.
Hey, I have great faith and I have confidence in his ability. It's just,
it's the vehicle that I question.
It's just his luck. He just shafted. But Kyle was second, not running this year, obviously. Tyler Ankrum third. He needs a good run. He's been bad. He's been off just all year. Chandler Smith fourth. Johnny Sutter fifth. Always fun to see Johnny. Todd Gilliland sixth. Ben Rhodes seventh. Grant Enfinger eighth. Who's probably the happiest guy in the garage right now because he won. So now he doesn't have to worry about not making the next round of the playoffs. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Sam Mayer was 9th, Austin Hill 10th. He's gone now, but Hocevar was 12th, Friesen 13th, Saint Smith 14th, Haley was 17th, Crafton was 18th. And Crafton needs to do a lot better than that because he still just does not look right. No matter how you put it.
Fair statement.
And Chad Chastain's in the 44 again.
I will say, though, for this race, don't count out Matty D because if I remember correctly, he did good at this track last year in the Cup car.
Yeah, he did.
If I remember correctly.
He did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. See it there. Okay.
I'll tell you, I got everything covered, so there's no confusion. Most of the time. But yeah, I think he's gonna I don't think he's gonna get the win. Sorry, no offense to him. I just don't think the team's there yet. It's nothing personal.
Fair enough.
And I just I hate Richmond during the day for the Cup race. I just don't like it. Why do the trucks get to run at night? Then the Cup fans, I don't like the track during the day. And I know they used to do it way back in the day, but after you have it under the lights for that many decades, I just don't like it. I think the racing is different. It doesn't really, I liked Richmond
Well, it
because
does make a difference on the track. Like literally the physical track
yeah,
does.
because it's just
That's huge there.
before there was,
That's built.
the see, now I'm dying. The transition from, late afternoon through the evening, the temperature, there's temperature change. So there was tire wear change. There was like there was all kinds of stuff. Now it's just 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just screaming hot the whole entire time.
Fair
And
enough.
I think it just takes a lot of the strategy and everything out of the racetrack, which is why I was like Bristol for, the August race, because it started with the sun up. And then as the night went on, it got cooler. The track, like, it just gives you a whole different thing when you just put it there screaming hot in the middle of the afternoon. Like, it takes a lot of the strategy and, raciness out of it. Takes the brains out of it. There you go. You don't really have to keep up with the track because it will change, but not nearly as much as starting at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night when
It
it's still.
does make a huge difference.
So that's my big problem with it. But I think, Chandler Smith's going to be good again, obviously. Ben Rhodes will be up there. John Hunter will be in the mix. I don't think he's going to win. Nice to see, Grant Enfinger run good, or to see Carson Osamor finally get a win, just because it's been a while. Really, we're going to get into the playoff stuff, so I don't need to go too depth into it
You gotta
now.
also keep into consideration for on the truck side there. I like to see what Taylor Gray can do this weekend.
Yeah,
I really do. I would really like to see what comes out of this track for Taylor Gray. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping for too much for him, but I feel like this could be a track he could do something at. I could be wrong completely. I'm not going to deny that.
hey, it'd be nice to see a lot of people, step up. My big one is just seeing what is Matt Crafton finally going to turn it around and look like he actually deserves to be on the track, because he sure hasn't shown it all year.
Not recently.
I mean,
No, he hasn't.
the difference between him and Tony Stewart, when it was like Tony went into the playoffs that year going, I don't even deserve to be in, shouldn't be here. And then he won half the races and won the championship. He went from we suck, I shouldn't be here, to that. And Crafton, sorry, Matt, you still just suck. I'm trying to be a dick, but there's no in between for this one. You're just kind of terrible right now. I have great faith that he'll be okay. I don't know what the hell is going on because the team is there. It's just weird, but I'm watching out for him just to see if he can find, he needs something.
Be nice. I mean,
it's not been a good year for Matt Crafton at all.
I mean, I'd like to see Stuart Friesen get something out of this track too.
Yeah.
I mean,
see him.
I'm not necessarily saying these guys to win, just get some points and some good finish.
And I was happy to see Stewart finally, break through and get that, first win in forever earlier this year. I thought that was very much long overdue, and he didn't do it by some stupid. I mean, he just went out there and he was the fastest guy out.
I'm sure it was a boost. I'm sure that win in that race though was a huge boost of confidence for him and his team this year.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention his wife, who runs part time. I mean, her truck's still running. She's not running this week, but her truck is running. I mean, who's running it? Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs is driving her truck this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to see, especially as they started from scratch, last year and all that, just to come from the growing pains to being competitive for wins again. Like, that's a great thing. I think he's going to be right up there in the top. I'll say 6. I think that's a fair number. I'll put him around the top 6. Any people can come on there.
I think it's a fair assumption. Yes.
You guys can call me an ass. It's okay.
Carson Hocevar. I mean, he's up there. He's
a threat everywhere. I don't know. Like, he was on such a roll right there before he got hurt. Then he got hurt and he was on a roll, and it just seems to, I don't know, something seems to have fizzled kind of.
So I'm sure at some point he was still running hurt. So I mean, his body's probably going, hey, can I get one, leave me alone week?
Hey, they've gotten a couple weeks off. I mean, does he know how to stop racing during those weeks? No, but
that's what I'm saying. His body physically is probably going, can I get just leave me alone for a week?
Nope. And then he'd be like you. No.
Exactly.
Or me. No. I could. Not going to, but I mean.
Yeah, I'm pretty horrible for that. I answer usually stuff like that. No. No.
You could try and make me.
Definitely.
I would like to see you try and make me.
Exactly.
And everyone normally just looks at you and goes, no, really. Come and try. I don't do well just sitting here. Just
ask the Jackson City Police. We'll leave that there.
I was sick and dying. Like whatever day it was earlier this week. The first day I was like dead. Like I literally laid in bed until like 10:50 whatever day we were gonna record, and then we didn't. So I'd do it all alone.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Whatever day it was. Yeah.
But you also did say though Tuesday night. I feel
and I was up.
like
I was
I
ready.
look
You
probably.
called me first away in the morning. And like, well, I'll call you after this. Then I didn't hear from him the rest of the day. I'm like, great. He died. Someone died. His sister died. Did he kill his sister? Like, what happened here? And I hear nothing. But yeah, like I laid in bed until like 10:50. Bed sores. Like I actually laid in bed for more than like 4 hours when I like my normal sleep habit. And my body felt like I don't stop moving. It's very odd, but should be a good
If anyone
race.
ever asked me how I feel about that scenario, I think I've come up with the analogy I'm gonna use from now on. If there was 40 races in a season, I would put her in the wall 39 of the 40 guaranteed. That's how I feel about that scenario right now.
There you go. I respect
Sorry.
that. This should be a good race. Back on topic. Should be good.
Yeah.
Gets us to the Cup Series. See, Federated Auto Parts 400. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think Ken Schrader should have been the Grand Marshal for that just because, well, I mean, those two are one and the same, and it'd be nice to see Ken back at the NASCAR, at a track, just because it's been so long. But Sunday at 3 on USA.
Yeah, but NASCAR has a hard time pulling him out of his but how do I want to word this? They have a hard time pulling him out of his open wheel world.
Well, I know that, but you get him to come in there, say hello, do a few of these. Like, can't be that hard. Like, hey, Kenny, what? You're gonna be the great what? It's not like anyone knows. Like, it's not like you're gonna stay. I know. See you later. Bye bye. And you can get to a lot of places really quick from there. Richmond, like, for how late those things start, but starts at 3 p.m. What? He has more than ample time to get wherever the hell he has to in the country to make a race.
Well, and I feel like carry on.
All righty then. And this will be another fun one that I didn't write down apparently, but while I was watching something, maybe it was Raw the other day or NXT, I have no idea. But it was really exciting to see the NASCAR commercial that they put on about all the races that were coming up on USA. Yeah, the best part is when they're talking about all the racing action. Fun fact, maybe USA Network didn't pick up on. Did you know they were showing, the action from the season, and they showed a wreck with the 95 Procore car in it. Last time I checked, they closed 2 or so years ago. Like, you're throwing ads, look at the home of NASCAR where all these races are, and you can't even find wreck footage from this year to put in it. You had to find it from 2+ years ago. Like, it does not take that much to like, the little things give you away. You're welcome, Lincoln Park.
I'm not saying anything.
Like, holy balls. Like, I'm sitting there going, he's not even in the, come on. But trust me, this year, they've wrecked enough. It's not hard to find crash footage. They do it exponentially.
That's true. I mean,
holy, like, that made me, really, that made me smile. But moving on to actual important things besides them sucking, we all knew it. Welcome to nowhere. They'll just, race, we have to turn on bundling Slingos League Soccer, but the race will continue on like CNBC, except they won't tell anybody. We'll just be sitting there going, what happened? Yeah, because that's how they do it. Dickheads. But again, I wish I could be more excited for the race. I just don't like Richmond during the daylight. I just don't think the racing is.
There's not even a race Sunday. There's no reason they couldn't have had him.
Hey, it's just little things that I think of that could help bring, fans that they have alienated and pissed off back. It's not my fault that I'm the only one.
They have no race that day.
It's not my fault. I'm the only one that seems to think about, someone besides myself.
And that's both of them, by the way, not just one. That's USAC series, all the USAC series, and all the World of Outlaw. There's no race that Kenny Schrader would be involved with Sunday. No reason why he couldn't have been there.
Okay. It was just my thought, but
anyway, sorry.
Top 10 last year was Alex Bowman got the win. Denny cried about it in second because, well, it's what Denny does when anyone besides him backs their way into, hey, they back into a win. Worst thing ever. Denny backs himself into a win like earlier this year. Greatest thing ever. Then he got a second win. Yeah, they took that one away from him. Still makes me smile. He's a dick. You're welcome. At least I'm honest about it. Logano was third, Christopher Bell fourth, Truex fifth, Almirola sixth. When he was the guy holding the torch for all of Stewart Haas racing across every series they were in because they were just terrible for a while. Byron seventh, Kyle Busch eighth, Matty D got a ninth, and look at Austin Dillon getting a top 10. And then Brad was 14th. I don't know. They've been running better, and it's a short track, so I think he might actually be capable.
Look out for him and Busher.
Yeah, I think he just because they've been running better. So like to see what happens there. Chastain was fifth. God have mercy on his soul. Hey,
everyone can say whatever they want.
Just remember, Ross, it's Denny's home track. Go get him, fella. Hell, I'll just tag him.
Don't hesitate to reach out and touch somebody.
I'll just go on.
Did I say that?
I'll post this on Twitter and just Ross. I'll just tag him until I'm out of characters. tag the minute. Listen right at the minute mark. Be like, what? Listen here. Remember, he has it coming. Suarez was 16th. Kevin was 24th. Bubba was 26th. Newman was 30th. And Noah's in the 16 again for this one for Colleague. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want Denny to win just because, well, I've never been a Denny guy. And like throughout the years, he just keeps giving me more reasons to not be a Denny guy.
I have to say, just because last weekend, you and I talked about this Monday when we were still at the hospital, we were talking about it. Kevin,
when we were whispering,
just figured out at Michigan International Speedway this new car. If he just figured out the new car there, and he's always been good on short tracks, I'm just throwing it out.
He's just figured out the new car there. Well, it's a very bad time of the year for the rest of the
that's what everybody is. Everybody I've heard talk this week on any sort of sportscast, news show, anything like that, any like poll shows, anything to do with racing, everybody is bringing up the fact that Kevin just changed everything for the playoffs. Not just changed it because he put somebody out and he may have moved people. He literally changed it because he won nothing last year. I'm just throwing it out. He won nothing, no playoffs, no nothing. He won nothing. Look out. That's all I'm saying. He's a threat. And not because I like him either, just because his stats and what's going on in this car.
Him figuring it out is dangerous.
Yes.
Especially at this time of year. It's not good.
And for him to be as calm and cool as he was before the race started at Michigan, and when he was doing his interviews, and everybody's just kind of like, and he's like, yeah, it's just for him to be calm like that after not winning 50-some races. Like
60-some, get it right.
Yeah, 60-some, yeah. Right. I don't even want to think about how many, but it was over 60. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, the whole point is it went over 60 races where he didn't win. And for him to be that calm and then him figure the car out during that race, it's not good.
Hey, for all those out there though, that I don't know how many it was for Kevin, but drivers that broke winless streaks at Michigan. Don't worry, Dale Jr. was on that list twice, and both of them were worse than Kevin's. In fact, one of them was over double Kevin's. So hey, at least he didn't break that ground. Yeah, that's a positive. You don't say. But I think that he'll be doing good. Again, Hamlin will be up there, sadly. I really don't want him to, but there's nothing we could do about it. I think Ross will be better. I want to see what Brad can do again. I'm not really picking a winner on this one. I really want to see, now that everyone's, now that, again, RFK is looking better and figuring it out. Kevin's figuring it out. Bubba's running good, getting a string of top 10s out of nowhere. Like, I'm just curious to see. Because again, what 3/4 mile-ish flat track, flat really, short track. It kind of resembles the shape of another track that they go to at the end of the year.
Well, and another thing, the reason I said look out for Chris Buescher is because the guys that get lucky and are fortunate and they're really good at taking care of the short run game and they make good times of it. That for me, that stuff is out of the picture when it comes to a short track. You got these guys running at these tracks and they don't understand, like, hey, you don't get to pull out there. You're not going to get a lead where you're running 7 miles 7 miles ahead of everybody else. But when you have these tracks and you got these guys like Chris Buescher and these smaller teams, Corey LaJoie, there's another good example. Those guys don't have the money in their cars like other guys have, where they can run guaranteed top 10 no matter what at a big track, a mile and a half and bigger. They don't always have that guarantee. You put these guys like that in these smaller teams on a track that's small. Hey,
terrorists. See? Wonder why I call them terrorists, everybody? This is why I call children terrorists. It's a simple thing. He has to go maul people. Yeah, he put him. Sum it up as he just wandered off because little people, I mean, I love them, but they're not really good at listening. This is one of those things that just makes, again, it's like plate tracks, road courses, and short tracks. Even though I'm really not a fan of plate racing for the most part, because most of them look like Atlanta 2, which was just terrible. Yeah. Like there are people losing tires in the lead in the first one, and we still didn't like it. Was just, but short tracks and road courses give the guys like the Corey LaJoies and all them the opportunity to be up there and be in the swing of things, because it's not super. You don't need the fastest horse in the race or the most anything. You just have to. There's a lot of driver involved in it, and that's why I like them. I don't know where you were going with it, but that's my favorite thing about it. Yeah, like just guys like that.
Well, I was just saying, like, I feel like tracks like that, Corey LaJoie and Chris Buescher has better chances of being able to show what their car can do, because they don't have to worry about being able to outperform somebody a mile and a half on the other side of the track when they know they don't have the money to sling to those kind of components.
And I'd like to
just
see
feel
him
like it's a fairer race.
I'd like to see him get another top 20 out of it. Corey's been on a good run of those. If bad luck stopped happening,
Corey deserves it.
They'd be doing a lot better if he just had bad luck. It's kind of like Matty D. I mean, whether it was practice so he couldn't qualify. I mean, no matter what, Matty was just sitting there looking at, he's going to the back. Why? Something broke. When? Lap 2 of practice. And as happy as he wants to play off,
what can he do?
Happy as he wants to play off as he is, like once it happened, he's like, do we have an extra helmet? Why?
I want to throw one.
Right,
I want to pull a Kevin. You see that hood?
Don't come in the hauler. Don't come in the hauler. Like, I'd go and start breaking shit. But I think it's going to be a good one again. See what, again, RFK can do. See what Kevin can do with all that. See if Bubba can get another one. Yeah, the little guy, these are my favorite just because they are in the mix more, except for Ty Dillon because he's just a pile of shit. But don't worry, we're gonna get to that too.
And before I forget, I cannot forget to say this. I don't give a shit what anyone has ever said about him. I've always liked him, even when he was teammates with Martin Truex Jr. I didn't care what people said about him. Eric Jones just proved my point again last weekend. In that car, he finished, what was it, 8th or 9th? He took my cheat sheet from me. I believe it was 8th or 9th he finished in the race at Michigan.
It's not my fault you have unruly savages that don't listen.
Yeah, I'm going to have to kick somebody, I think. It's going to happen. I can feel it. Anyways, you got these guys like Martin Truex that are running at Toyota. You got Kyle Busch that's running at Toyota for the time being. And then you have guys like Denny Hamlin running for Toyota. I have my own issues with Kyle Busch, but you know what? There's times when even if he comes off as an asshole, he's kind of in the right. And I have to say, it's not his fault. Chastain, I like Chastain. Does he screw up? Yes, I think he's still young. He screws up. He's young.
Does he screw up? Most definitely. Does it smell? Most definitely.
You know what he can do that a lot of the older guys that race for Toyota can't do? He can own his mistake and say, yeah, I was shit. I drove like shit. He'll say it. But what I was getting at is you got Eric Jones that no matter where he's at, gets shuffled here, gets shuffled there, just like Matty D. And for the most part, he's performing honestly better than I would expect them to in the equipment they're in most of the time. I'm just putting it out there. And then you get guys that jump in there and make us always look good. Harrison Burton, just throwing it out there. You're an example. Ty Dillon, you're an example.
Hey, at least it's not Harrison's fault. Ty actually just sucks. Harrison shouldn't be there. Ty, well, you've been there since
But
2016.
with
You're
that
like,
being said, that shows you where the good guys are at right now. You got Ryan Preece and you got Matty D both running in truck series. You got Matty D has drove for Ford. Did really good when he drove at Wood Brothers. Actually, that's probably the best I've seen Wood Brothers do in a very, very long time was when he was driving for Wood Brothers.
what the
But
hell was
Matty
that?
D,
Oh, Matty
Matty
D.
D,
Okay, yeah. I don't know if we were
I
talking about
moved
him or
to
Ryan
Matty
Priest.
D.
I'm
Well, I
going.
was saying those two are examples though, because Ryan Preece and Matty D both get shafted, but you got guys like Matty D running when they were at Wood Brothers with Ford, did great. Eric Jones has been shifted from this company to this company, and every time it seems like he's in a different manufacturer. And I mean, heck, he's with Petty GMS Racing, which we won't have that conversation. I don't feel like Petty should have ever had to be split with somebody else. But hey, anywho, that's that conversation. With that being said, these guys get shit. They get shit every time, and they do good. And then I watch the race, and you got guys like Denny that are throwing temper tantrums because somebody who's young makes a mistake and it costs him something. Well, let's talk about that, Denny. I recall recently you making a very stupid move and causing Kevin to not even be able to finish the race. And he was doing really, really good. I don't want to hear him complain about anything. Guys like that don't deserve those rides. I'm just saying.
Don't worry. It's only Friday afternoon. He'll complain about what he still has. Shit. It's just under 48
he'll
hours
piss me
before
off by the end of the week.
Oh, well, duh. It's Denny. It's what he does, but yeah, that about sums it up. That guy. Yeah. But again, like I said.
Speaking of Kyle, though.
Oh, well, yeah. You get to
Speaking of Kyle, I know we talk shit about everybody, this person, that person. I give Kyle a lot of shit. But when Kevin Harvick comes out and says something that I honestly can't disagree with, it proves a point that Joe Gibbs is worse than I ever thought. Kyle Busch has enough skill behind him and enough knowledge of the industry that he should not have to be stuck in a position midway through a season on knowing whether he has a ride with that company or not next year. Now, I'm going to quote Kevin also on this one. I don't know of anyone that's been approached by Stewart Haas saying this, but the idea of him being a teammate for Kevin, as much as I have things against Kyle, Kurt and Kevin have said it best. When you have somebody, whether you like them or not, running with you, if they're good, it just makes you better. Kevin's already really, really, really good. And then his cars had issues here and there. Well, if you brought Kyle into the mix, who's also a really, 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 really good driver, that's just going to make the cars better. I think Kevin's throwing out a good point. You're going to have a car open next year, and if you ain't bringing Matty D, there better not be anybody else going to it. As a matter of fact, if you wanted, you could have Matty D and Cole Custer switch positions.
Just send Cole.
And I know Cole Custer's dead, works for freaking Stewart Haas. I don't care. I'll say the same thing I said about Mike Dillon. I like Mike Dillon. I don't think his kids should have got a ride like they did the way they did. That's just my personal opinion.
At least Austin earned his, though.
I love
at least he won
Mike
something.
Dillon. Don't think I don't. I told everybody that. I like Mike Dillon, but
at least Austin earned his by winning something.
And I'll give him credit on that. He's also took the lovely experience of hitting a catch fence.
But Good job, he didn't hit the pace car. At least he didn't hit a jet dryer. He didn't
hit the pace car or a jet dryer. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Someone was on the thing the other day. I don't remember who they were complaining about. Let's go out there and hit the jet dryer. I was like, what? Let's just leave that one. What? How about he doesn't? Well, let's leave that one for one.
You've seen that happen. That takes too long to clean up. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, I think they didn't even finish that day. It was the next day they finished.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because they sat in the cars for 9 years. Dude's taking selfies. NASCAR's like, what the fuck is your phone doing in there with you?
Yeah. I remember that. Oh, clear as day.
But hey, they're the ones that kept it going. But yeah, I don't disagree with them at all. I just think it's funny that they're getting all these sponsors to re-sign with them. Through next year in multi-year deals, and they can't get anything for Kyle.
I'm disappointed in Mars. Like I said, I've never been a huge fan of Kyle Busch, but I will stand up and defend him on this one. Everything that's going on right now, and Mars is backing out like they did. I feel the same way about that as I did about Jimmy John splitting with Kevin Harvick. That doesn't make sense.
freaky fest.
He didn't lose you money. I guarantee, if anything, Kevin brought you a lot more money than most people could probably bring you in as a sponsorship situation.
Because you gotta think, like, because they do all.
You should go back and look at paint schemes.
Oh, no.
How many wins does he
Listen,
have on that paint scheme alone?
all the advertising, just with the thing is he's a rolling billboard. He's winning commercials, but then I swear they have to, if they're putting Jimmy John's on the diecast and T-shirts, like they have to get a cut of that. It's not like he's not selling merchandise out the ass.
Like, Kevin's was always sold. It's like, still to this day, even though he didn't win for so long, before this last race, he still half his shit was sold out all the time. Excuse me, I burped.
Yeah, like I don't get it, but hey, there's other weird things that have happened too. I mean, other crazy news.
There's another one. Who else was it this year that has had a long time sponsor and all of a sudden it's like it's up in the air? There was another one too. I can't remember who it was.
I'll think about it. I had my brain on other things that happened. Quick one to the idiots on the internet that's saying this car is unsafe because of all the injuries this year. To the ignorant masses, can you please enlighten me the injuries that happened minus Kurt's concussion?
Minus Kurt and Carson Hocevar, there's not been really any.
Yeah, except we said new car.
Year.
We said
in the new car. Kurt.
Like Carson's not even in there. Like Kurt, and you do realize he's 43 and went from $180 to stopped in literally 3/4 of a second.
That's a lot better than the last person that did that just like that. I mean,
I'm saying 180, there's 160, 180 went into a wall for that short a distance from mock Jesus to stop when you're 43. It doesn't take much. And if they're going to go, if you guys are going to be ignorant and say that, do we remember the last gen car? Because I swear NASCAR's most popular driver had to retire because he kept getting concussions. Because believe it or not, see this movement right here? That's all you really have to do, and you can knock yourself stupid. Think about doing that at $180.
Well, that's the thing. For those people that don't understand that and say shit like that, all you got to do is say, hey, I want to point something out. When you're walking through your hallway, if your kid stops dead in front of you, what happens? You end up either one, running the kid over, or two, you try not to run the kid over and you get hurt, seriously hurt in the process. It never fails. That's how that happens. It's life. But my whole point is that's from a walking speed. A walking speed, you can get a concussion. People are stupid. It doesn't matter what the car is. The only difference, if you really wanted to be like that, you could go, well, I'm pretty sure every other race, Dale Jr. did have concussions from wrecks in those damn cars. I've seen a lot of guys wreck this year. I distinctly remember if it was either the second or third race this season and somebody decided to wreck. Yes, I'll agree with the gentleman from NASCAR. There was nowhere near as much liquids to have to clean up on the track. There was just 900,000 pieces of fiberglass and material and all sorts of other shit like that on the ground that you had to pick up.
And the complaint because the body's more rigid and it's not absorbing the impact. I'm like, what? The hit? But like, just stop. And then they're going to go and lower the threshold of the car, and you guys are going to be pissed off because they bump each other in the back and they crush a fender again. Like, there's not going to be any making anyone. That's why I love NASCAR fans.
I hate to be
like wrestling fans. They just have to bitch about everything. Why did they do it? Okay, now I hate that. Okay, well, we'll go back.
Any fan that would bitch about the body of the car right now would be dumb, because if it wasn't for the composite bodies being the way they are now, if these cars were metal, do you know how many more cautions in a race we would have? You know how many more tires blown out in a race we would in a single race, not just all the races combined for a season. In a single race compared to last year, if you look it up, like take a pick, like we'll say Atlanta or Phoenix or something like that. If you take this car and versus it or compare it to last year's car, I promise you, if you do the shit that Denny and Ross Chastain's been doing all season to each other, if you did that in last year's car, they'd have had a lot more races where they'd have had DNFs, both of them, because those cars didn't hold up like that. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things about this new car I don't like because of the lies they say.
And it is quite stiff, but
that body is really good.
It's it's stiffer, so I mean it does suck a little bit more, but saying all these injuries this year is like, wow, because guys are going, that was a hard hit. You do realize everyone gets every year, and they're going, that sucked. Like, I mean, that literally happens.
Just what they really wanted to know, people would be smart and they wouldn't say shit to NASCAR and talk NASCAR, but they go, hey, when you wrecked, was that a hard hit or not? Because those drivers will tell you if it was hard or not.
all these injuries. I'm like, Kurt. Yeah,
I mean,
Kurt.
hell, who was it that went up a couple weeks ago, right up in the air? Wasn't that Reddick or no?
Busher.
Or man, it was Bush.
When
You're
his
right. I think
tire
it was
caught
Bush.
underneath him and his tires flailing in the air and just tethered
Next
on
thing you
there.
know, he's up in the air. Like he even said that hurt when he hit the ground. Every person I've seen go up in the air this year and come back down said that hurt because the car is more rigid. Well, yes, it's going to hurt when it hits the ground, whether it's sideways, upside down, or coming back down on your fours. It's gonna hurt. No way around that.
That kind of like, believe it or not, like jump off your couch and land on the ground. Guess what?
Yeah, that's a 2-foot drop.
That doesn't feel very good. Think about going from
Imagine
a buck,
your rear end being 12 foot up and then all of a sudden back down on the ground again.
buck 60 or so, buck 80. And I mean, what? That's about 9 or 10 repeated ass whoopings. Doing.
Well, if you think about it, that's probably when you hit the ground, that initial impact is probably close to 4 or 5 G's. I'm sure of it. That's got to be one hell of a hard hit at that speed. I'm trying to think if I've ever come down on the ground that fast, that hard.
I did. I just don't remember it. Actually, I did a few times. I just don't remember any of them. Touche. Yeah.
I'm trying to think any of the wrecks I've ever been in. But still, my whole point of it is a car dropping the rear end, or better yet, a car going from 4 inches off the ground in the back to 9 or 10 foot and then back to 4 inches in a matter of a half a second. I assure you, the G-force when you hit the ground coming back down is enough to make you go.
No matter what, that sucks for.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, like that sucks the life right out of you. Get the break to you, no matter what. Everyone's saying all
I don't
these
care
injuries.
who you are. Even when Jimmy Johnson would wreck, he was the most fit guy in NASCAR. There's nobody else more fit than Jimmy Johnson, Carl Edwards. Period. Try to convince me otherwise. You're not. Those two are the most fit people I've ever seen in my life in NASCAR. And when they would wreck and hit hard like that, they would even go.
Hey,
so don't tell me it doesn't hurt.
Go back and watch Jimmy make that save in qualifying at Dover that one time, though. Still glorious to see him switching between the brakes and the gas, depending on which part of his car was getting towards the wall to keep it from bashing off of a wall. Like that's a level of when everyone on pit road that's waiting to qualify stops and looks at you, like that's probably a good thing. And you get a standing ovation from every other driver. What you've accomplished something. Yeah, they all hurt, but stop saying all these injuries. There's been one. All the people out of all the tires we've seen blow out in wrecks, there's been one guy hurt, and he happens to be almost the oldest guy in the room. Almost, pretty close. Thank God, there's still that one guy.
Yeah,
going to remain nameless. Who's like I think 45 right now. Still a little old. I know.
Well, what I was gonna say is when it comes to wrecks, I also feel like NASCAR has changed things to a degree where some of the drivers have gotten so arrogant. When there's a wreck in an open wheel series and even in a truck series, if it's a serious wreck, nobody's talking. People shut up. Even crew chiefs don't talk. Why isn't that like that in the Cup Series anymore?
Nobody gives
the human part of that, the honest human part, that's gone.
Well, everyone's got their head up their asshole.
Kind of like what we talked about with Dale Jr. when Newman wrecked, and look at when Mikey won the Daytona. Look at when Mikey won Daytona and Dale died. Don't get me wrong, Darrell Waltrip was the happiest person in the world for his brother. But you notice where he couldn't stop
Dale's
staring?
all right.
Yeah, bawling his eyes out and looking down at the other end of the track. Loving his brother just won, but
Mikey. Oh, I hope Dale's all right.
Yeah.
End quote.
That's what I'm saying. It's just that degree of sportsmanship is not there like it used to be in that particular series anymore.
Nope. But moving on.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
We're getting towards, coming up towards the end. I do have some, news now that we found out Noah Gragson going to drive to 42 next year for Petty GMS. Do I think it's appropriate timing for him? No. Did I think he proved that it wasn't appropriate timing for him to do it at Road America? Oh, hell yes. I think he definitely proved that he's a child still, but he got it. And it's not like Ty did anything to even get the ride this year. I still don't understand how that.
Well, my thing of it is I don't want to see, listen, hold on. I gotta be honest about this. I don't want to see Josh Berry go to the Cup Series for some fact that I don't want to see him leave Junior Motorsports.
I just don't want to.
I love him.
I don't want to see him leave Junior Motorsports to go drive garbage for a year and then have to go right back
That's
down.
that's the other part of it. But I also just don't want to see him leave Junior Motorsports because he's good for Junior Motorsports and Junior Motorsports is good for him. But with that being said, there's another example of somebody with skill that half these guys in the Cup Series will, I mean this, will never touch. But yet they still have ride in the Cup Series. Gragson will get there before somebody like Josh Berry. Herps will get to the Cup Series before somebody like Matty D gets back there. Or Ryan Preece.
All depends on how retirements work out on that one. Because I don't think Stuart Haas is letting them go. And so that all depends on how the cards fall with retirements and Custer. That's why I don't think, because they've had Riley for so long, I really think that they're not letting Riley go anywhere. That's my take on Riley Herbst.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Riley Herbst will.
I'm saying he'll get a ride up there before them, but at least he's staying with, at least the only place I see him going is through them going up, not just, hey, you're going to go drive for, have fun. What? See you next year. Why? You'll be back. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be one of those like a lot of these guys. That's all I'm saying. I think they're going to keep him in the family because otherwise, no reason why they kept him around so long then. And he's finally running really good. So
Riley Herbst is skilled, but honestly, his first year, Tony said it. I'm not expecting a championship out of him right away. He's got to learn.
For real.
And that goes back to what we talked about before. I'm just throwing it out there. Tony, Club Racing, out of Illinois, is a great start for Ford. Just throwing it out there. That starts at ARCA.
But here we go. I got the stats. Did some more work while I was waiting on you. Everyone just loves to keep pushing things back on me, so my brain starts racing. But Casey Mears at Germain Racing from 2012 to 2016. I didn't count 2010 or 11 because they didn't get to run the full schedule those years. But let's go to the final position in the points. Let's see. Went from 29th, 24th, 26th, 23rd, 28th. You know, let's see. One top 10 in 2013, one top 5 and 3 top 10s in 2014, 2015. They had one top 10. Then we get to Ty Dillon in the 4 years he was there before they shut down, just to continue this trend. Points finish was 24th, 27th, 24th, and 26th. So again, roughly right there around Casey. Yeah, no big improvement, no big loss really. In 2018, he did have one top 10. 2019, one top 5 and 3 top 10s, which seems very freakishly reminiscent because that's exactly what Casey did in his third year with them too, which is freaky. And he got one top 5 and 2 top 10s with, in his last year with Germain. Then he had the 4 races last year. But for everyone that says I'm just a dick to him, here we go. Like, here's his stats so far this year. Point standings. Yeah, overall points. Yeah, not playoffs. Eric Jones is running like 14th right now. This is all coming from racingreference.info, but and Ty's 30th. Average start for Eric, 20.7. Average start for Ty, 25.9. Average finish for Eric, 16.5. Average finish for Ty, 22.3. 20 times. Eric Jones is running at the end, only 18 times for Ty Dillon. 16 times Eric finished on lead lap, 14 times for Ty Dillon. And then here's the big one: 2 top 5s and 8 top 10s for Eric, 1 top 10 for Ty Dillon. I'm pretty sure that was like 2 weeks ago. There's a reason he got fired. There's a reason I talk shit. He's at the same equipment. He's an underperforming piece of shit. He does not help improve anything. You could stick him in Kyle Busch's car the year he came back from breaking his damn legs at Daytona when he won everything, and he wouldn't have won anything. Look at all the nice equipment they put him in all the other series. What, the kid, I give him all the credit in the world for having heart and saying, well, I'm still going to win races and championships in the Cup Series. That's going to happen. Like, you're actually high. I don't know what you're high on. Probably some hallucinogenic.
Jeffrey Earnhardt doesn't have as good of a ride as him, and he deserves way better.
Some hallucinogenic shit. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is that's, getting him so out of his mind. But nah, bro, you're not going to win races. You're not going to win a championship. You're not going to win anything. Want to know why? Because you suck.
And I do think people need to take that in consideration, because when they talk about drivers, I think they just talk about how well his name is known. You shouldn't go that way, because anyone can be an Earnhardt. Have that last anyone that's an Earnhardt. You telling me this, everybody's gonna get a ride? No. Look at Jeffrey. Jeffrey's went out of his way to not get everything given to him.
Literally.
And he can drive better than some of these people driving in a Cup Series. Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean that in the nicest way possible. The kid can drive a lot better than half them people.
Fact. Super fact. But
so for people like Mars who are kicking to the curb, guys like Kyle Busch and going, oh, blah, blah, blah. Just know that you're going to go and you're going to give a bunch of money at somebody that's garbage. And there's going to be people like Kyle Busch that really deserves it. And there's people like, or sorry, let me phrase that. There's going to be people like Kyle Busch who's earned it.
Yeah, that's
there's going to be people like Jeffrey Earnhardt that deserves it and most definitely could perform and show that. But he just doesn't get the chance because, well, he's not related to somebody in the system.
No.
I'll put it like that.
And he wouldn't take it anyway. I'm pretty sure Junior could offer him a full-time ride, and he would say
he'd walk away.
No,
the only thing that he's had consistently is Forever Lawns.
Yeah.
Good shout out to Skip Bodell for bringing him on the show the other day, by the way.
They'd follow. I mean, they'd follow with him, which is a good thing. But
Forever Lawn goes wherever he goes.
Yeah,
like he will not lose him as a sponsor, period.
He wouldn't do it. We all know he wouldn't do it just because look who Dale is in relation to him. Like, he doesn't want to be involved with anyone saying there's any form of nepotism going on at all. There's the big word of the day for all you guys. My eyeballs hurt like hell. So there's nepotism. Now, hopefully your brains hurt for a few minutes. But another big signing I just saw, I don't know if you did, Bubba, that guy, that one, signed an extension with 2311 through next year and beyond. And I commented on a bunch of them. See, I'm okay with signing, him, whatever makes them happy. They got the sponsors for it, whatever. It's just me from a consistency standpoint, him getting a deal, literally, like he's had 4 top 10s.
That's what his career is riding on.
Like, he could turn around and not do anything for the next 2 years now. Granted, they were going to keep him anyway. I just have a problem with from a consistency standpoint for signing him for that many years when there's other people that are doing way better that deserve it, but he's just getting it because.
Well, there's the other side of that too that I have a problem with, though. And you and I've had this conversation. I don't care. I will say it on this show. I don't have anything. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
that was weird.
That was your thing.
Anyways,
I have it directly going into my ears. How do you think that felt?
Probably the same as mine. I'm like, anyways, moving on. There's been a couple situations where I've seen Bubba make covers of games or covers of magazines, and
or the big advertisement for every race.
Or that too, yeah, the TV advertisements. No offense to Bubba, not saying he doesn't deserve recognition, not saying that. What I am saying, though, is if you're going to do things for sponsorship or recognition reasons, Bubba Wallace is not the gentleman to be doing it. Because when I see Bubba Wallace, I don't recognize NASCAR history or NASCAR skill when I look at Bubba Wallace. I see something completely different. But that's besides the point. With that being said, though, he does have the ability to drive when he can shut his damn mouth.
Yeah, when he gets in between his ears, right?
When he's there, right, he's good.
But
like last weekend, acting like he did, I don't feel he should have acted like that. You made a mistake. Shit happens, dude. You don't think I ain't hard on myself? I've made mistakes in race cars. I learned from it. Bet your ass didn't do them again. Just ask the gentleman at Springport decide to come down on me on my front fender. I'm just saying.
My problem with it, and I said it before, like your 4th straight top 10, best run you've had, and you cry, like, just build off it as a positive thing. What you got around the person to get in second.
Learn.
You were in clean air. Trust me, Kevin was so far gone. You were in clean air. He was getting smaller.
Yeah, and well, I made a mistake, dude. Even if you would have gotten Kevin at the beginning of that restart, you would not have kept it. Period. No offense, dude. Granted, your cars are set up just like a Gibbs car because, well, it's Denny. I know how that situation's going. I got a gut feeling.
Yeah. I just say accentuate the positives and stop just like, why do you have to be crying in a downer about everything? You're on the best run of your career. Be happy. Say, well, screwed that one up, but
I mean, you didn't see Kevin take a helmet and go down and smash it off at Denny's head a couple weeks ago. You didn't see him throw a shit fit in the interview. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he was quite unhappy. I'm not going to deny that.
There's a reason we didn't see him. There's a reason they didn't
But-
stick a microphone in his face.
But my whole point of it is he wasn't interviewing on TV at all and throwing a temper tantrum and crying.
He probably just walked by and went, Kevin, wait, okay. But
Well, I'm sure that Rodney had something to do with yeah.
But see, that was just why cry about it? Like, I mean,
I just don't understand those things. And I give him credit. He deserves credit though for last week. And Bubba does. He did good.
And look where they've been the last 4 weeks. I mean, there's been Pocono, Atlanta, Indy Road Course.
But before I forget to say this, if we're going to give
Michigan,
him credit, he also should turn around and say, "Hey, Kurt, whether I want to admit it or not, I do owe you a thanks because you brought things to the plate that I didn't have last year."
Yeah, I just, again, I give him all the credit when credit is due. I cry about it, man. I poo-poo away like everyone makes mistakes. But this is the best. What you've had mistakes. Trust me, you had years worth of mistakes where you weren't getting top 10 finishes at all. Like
top 20s.
This is like take the momentum and go. All you do by crying
Work
and whining
on it,
about
build on it.
All you do with crying and whining about it is going and diminishing everything because the energy is now.
Exactly.
So I think it's bad, but that's just me. And that finally gets us to what we need to talk about before we go into the weekend. Just the playoff standings. I can actually see it on the TV. You sure as hell can't, but we're talking about the trucks first. If you have them around, because I told you to, I quite imagine you do not. Because
I did.
Well, you're the one that said, hey, you went like it's not my fault. You're the one that can't tell an unruly Satan to leave you alone for an hour and a half.
I just wanted to get them away. They were fighting.
It
was going to blows. Get down out of here with that shit.
Yeah, Eckes is down in 10th. Grafton's 9th, and Hocevar is down to 8th, and those three are in the drop zone. And I think this race, right, because they only do 2, 2, and 2. There's only 7 races in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drop 3 at a time. So right now they're in the drop zone. Grant Enfinger, like he's going to pick a better time to actually get a win. No better time than when he did it. It's good to see him finally, get a win there. But yeah, I'm hoping again right now. Crafton, like he's the guy that needs to watch out though. I mean, he only got 19 points. Don't get me wrong. Back to Ty Majeski in 7th, but I mean.
But don't think stuff can't change quick because just look at last weekend.
All it takes is someone, having a bad restart or pit strategy going wrong at the end of a stage where they pit and then suddenly something happens. Someone gets 10 stage points at the end of the stage and you get nothing, or they get their 2 stages. That could very rapidly go from a 19-point lead to like a 3-point lead, which makes all the difference in the world.
Not just playoff points either. Like right now, points can make a huge difference. Period across the board. Everything can change in a matter of one race because the right situation happens. You can see 100 points change like that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at it though, I mean, I think up to Friesen's safe. Because I mean, Carson Osterbar's got 2,036 points and he's the first one below the cut line. And Stuart Friesen's up there, 2,057. So, I mean, it's close, but
if he finishes and just runs a good race this weekend, he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's all.
Stuart Friesen will be.
Yeah, that's all they have to do. Get as many stage points as you can, try to win something.
Kevin's just got to run a good race this weekend. I have a feeling he's going to do more than that. He's going to, yeah.
Which gets us to this, which,
he's grumpy.
Oh yeah, you don't have any other device there, do you? Never mind.
Well, I've got it I've remember most of it off the top of my head.
But with Kevin getting that win, sadly, he has no stage wins. So he needs to get some of those going into it. Just because right now, if we get, 2 more
playoff wise, he did bump up to 13.
Oh yeah. Oh no, technically, I just looked at it. He's because of no stage wins, though. He's 15th.
Oh, that's right. Because
the points.
You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. No stage wins. That's right.
Yeah, because the playoff points went. He's officially.
Because he was
15th.
tied with somebody, but then he had no playoff wins, so he went down another slot or 2, I think.
Yeah. Yep. He has no stage wins, so he only has the playoff points from the win, and it's right now Blaney gets one. He's way back there. Bubba's got, a stage win if he found a way in. Martin's got 7 stage wins. So like right now, I just like watching how people like Michael McDowell and Brad from their penalties have -10 playoff points.
Yeah, they.
Congratulations, guys. How many you got penalized? How many playoff points do you have? -10. Like how do you get -10? Exactly.
This weekend will be the game changer. You watch though for both series, for all 3 series. True. Well, not all 3 because Xfinity. Well, but for Trucks and Cup for sure, this will be a weekend for either set in stone way is sitting right now or some serious mix-ups. It's going to go one way or the other this weekend. But
and sadly, man, at the rate this is going, Kurt Busch, I mean, he still has time if he can make it back next weekend, but we're closely.
If he's not back next week, it's over.
Yeah, we're getting real close on him not being physically able to make up for it.
Yeah, he has to be back next week.
He can come back and run all great races and have just one mediocre race, and that could make all the difference even with that win. Which absolutely sucks because it's a head injury, but again, I'm okay, even though people are all hateful with them giving him the concussion thing. So, if you're injured, come back, be in the top 30, get a win, whatever. Because, at least gives him a chance to. And again, when he gets knocked out, he's, it does help him out and put him closer to where he deserves to be because he would have been right up there because he was doing great in the points until he decided to, attack that "What Turn For" logo on Pocono. Love that place. Yeah. I still remember when I was there and Jeff Gordon hit the wall coming out of 3 in qualifying and still got the pole. I've never heard such a guttural boo in my entire life. You want to talk about hatred? Go back to Jeff. Go back to Gordon in the 90s, but he couldn't go anywhere.
Dude, that's a good spot right there to peace out on the weekend, man. Good note right there, Ski.
Yeah. Everyone just pounded on him like, what? The bleachers are going to give out what? We're all dead. Yep. I mean, that was just like tens of thousands of drunks just beating the shit out of them. Like, at least it'll be quick.
Yeah.
At least I'm way up here, so when it goes down, like, done. At least it'll be a quick one. But yeah, that is a perfect place. Again, lots of stuff this weekend. I mean, I don't know when it's all going to be on, but NHRA is already on. Truck Series again tomorrow at 8 p.m. on FS1, then Cup Series Sunday at 3 on USA. Again, I'm not very excited about it just because I hate Richmond under the daylight. I just sue me. I mean, I don't know what the hell you'd sue me for. I don't got nothing. I'm like Rocky and Rocky 5. Touch me and I'll sue.
I'll give you my shirt.
Sue me for what? Meanwhile, you can have this half-drink Gatorade. That's about all I'm worth right now. But I'll be back at some point. We got Monday coming up. One of these weekends, I promise I'll get into the Denny thing. I keep saying it, and then I felt like
next week will be a better week. Everybody will be back on track. Your COVID will be dying out. I don't think I have any more hospital visits going. I got one appointment next week, I think, at some point.
Yeah, Sean will be here, so I'm still recording in the morning because I don't give up.
Is what it is. Yeah, but with that being said, I think it's going to be a good weekend. And
hey,
watch for that number 4 car. It's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Hey, it's already. I mean, I feel like death, but it's 72 degrees in my house right now because I woke up and it was 80. And last time I checked, it was in the mid 60s because a cold front came through with rain. So it's a good weekend. My house isn't 80 degrees all on its own. Thank you, God. Appreciate you, homie. Maybe that'll put my body back into the proper chi. What's up, homie?
You wanted to make sure everybody said peace for the weekend.
Say bye, buddy. Bye. Until Monday, my friends. Peace.
Peace.